Alright, so we're 90% done. Not totally done and things are not totally cleaned up. But I wanted to give you an update and with the promised details on things to watch out for if you're starting a project like this. So we just put some of the furniture back, but not all. And just a couple pre-project things. So we had our original wood floors in here, and the demolition was really difficult. The original builders obviously put it in to last, so lots of nails, staples, and liquid nail, and a lot of just hard work to get that up, and some damage to the boards underneath. And so some things to think about. You want all that to be level, so we actually had to get sheetrock mud and level things out too. So just some things to think about in terms of prep and the hard work that goes into getting the floors ready to actually put this down. So I'm going to actually start in the kitchen. And the floors are not totally clean. I did kind of a surface cleaning just to get some of the construction dust off, but they still have a little layer of dust, so don't judge the way they look too harshly in terms of the product, because they're not totally clean yet. So in the kitchen, I mentioned this before, but I want to go over it in detail. We have the original cabinets in here, and so one thing you want to think about when you're transitioning from maybe like a thicker wood to a slightly thinner vinyl plank flooring, and we did 12 millimeter, which is good for residential, is these transitions to the cabinets. See, we kept those the moldings there, but it's not like a perfect fit because there is a little bit of a difference. Now, I don't think it's very noticeable, and we could always go back and do that later. And I did, if you check the previous videos when we were just laying it, you can actually see how much of a big transition there is, but it actually looks good once you put the molding back there. I think it's called shoe molding. So yeah, that looks good. Something to think about though in terms of thickness and matching, because the wood is still underneath those cabinets. It was actually placed on top of the wood. So there's still wood underneath the cabinets, and we had to match this new wood and then put the moldings back. So just some stuff to think about. Also, in terms of the appliances, we didn't have any issues with the stove. And you can see there's still dust everywhere. That's another thing you're going to have to clean really well after, because there's dust from just all the sawing and back and forth and getting things ready. So stove and refrigerator, we didn't have any problem. Those just slid out. Didn't have to disconnect anything. Got those out just fine. The washing machine we chose to leave in and not take out, because we would have had to disconnect it, possibly get a plumber, etc. So we just left that in. I don't really care whether the new wood goes all the way under. You're not going to see that. So we left that as is. So let's go and I'll show you some of the other parts. So in terms of the baseboards, put all the baseboards back, and you're going to have some damage to your paint, and the transitions are not going to be perfect when you put the baseboards back. We haven't repainted or cleaned the baseboards yet, which we're probably going to do. But you can see you're going to have to do some touch up, and it's not just going to come out perfect. And I don't mind that. We're going to do that ourselves and not have the contractor do that, but just some things to think about. And I'll show you in front of the fireplace. Heat is one thing you don't want to subject vinyl plank flooring to. And so we kept our old tile here, which doesn't match great. But we're going to do touch-ups ourselves, and we could even replace that with a different color. And there you see it has some weight plates from my home gym, just to make sure that that transition sticks. And give it like 24 hours to do that. And then we still got something to do. Like you can see there's some old carpet under there, under those cabinets. We're going to replace that. with maybe some like backslash stick-on material. But you can see the baseboards. Again, this is nothing that's wrong with the contractor. They didn't do anything wrong. But when you're replacing this quantity of material and you're putting it back, you're just going to have things like this, and you're going to have to go back and touch it up and clean it up. So we could have gotten new baseboards, but that's quite expensive and not totally worth it, to be honest. All right, so I'm going to show you some more of the transition material. So here's the, you can see on the back sliding door, which needs to be cleaned. I'm actually going to put a pet door back here, so I'm not worried about cleaning that yet. And I'll actually do a video on that too, on the new pet door. And one thing real quick while we're doing the transitions, if you can see, they did an excellent job at lining everything up in terms of the planks. So all the way down into what is the dining room, office. And if you'll notice, so they snap the chalk line all the way down so that that's a straight line all the way to the fireplace, and it actually goes through the wall. They continued the perfect measurements through the wall so it lines up into that other hallway. And they just did an excellent job with that, so that looks really good. Again, I'll show you some more of the baseboards and transitions. Got some new registers on the floor. I think the white and the gray looks better than the brown we had before. And again, in this house, this was built in 1995, so, and we've got 3 kids and 2 dogs, so it's got some stuff to touch up for sure. And we'll do the small touch-ups. But I think the baseboards went back in very nicely, and we can do the fit and finish type of stuff. And this vinyl plank flooring does have kind of a matte kind of finish to it. It's even more pronounced now, obviously, because it's still got some construction grit and dust on it, but this is not supposed to shine like a really shiny wood floor. It's supposed to be a little bit matte. Okay, so I'll get a couple more transitions over here, and then I'll show you the stairs, and I'm going to show you a couple things in the bathroom just to think about. But again, these transitions came in, went nicely. New baseboards, they did this curve really nicely in here with the wood. I watched them do it, and there were some really difficult cuts. This transition here, they're going to come back and do because it's doesn't match because the wood again was much thicker than this vinyl plank flooring. So we're going to have to do, they're going to have to do wood and then stain it to match because they don't make vinyl plank flooring in that specific height. Something to think about. Here's another transition to the downstairs, taped so it sticks. Again, it's like 24 hours, just leave it taped, hang in there. So in the bathroom, there's the hallway where it matches going through into that living and dining room area. So the bathroom here, so door's still off because we still have some things to do in here, but we got a new vanity, and obviously we put the toilet back. No big issues with the toilet, but we did have to take it out so that they could do the wood all the way underneath, and you can see some of the baseboard back and some spots that we'll probably change the color of the paint too, so it's not a big deal. But little things like this. So we bought this new vanity. We actually got this one from Amazon. I'll probably do a review of it once we get it installed and everything, and give you the model and name and all that. But you can see the piping back here does not fit. So even on our old vanity, they had to cut notches back there so that the pipes would go under and through up to the faucet here. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut the copper piping there to make it lower, and then put new hoses on so that it comes up nicely there. It's too tall. But the contractor, who we've known for probably 15 years, is really nice, and he's going to come back and help us with that and basically do it for us as part of the job, which is wonderful. If anybody's in the Colorado area, I can give you their name because they are great. Yeah, but little plumbing issues, those kind of things. We got new lights up top. My wife did that actually. She did the rehooking up of the electrical and everything, so that was cool. So now we'll take it to the stairs. So stairs are one thing you're going to really want to think about with this type of material. We chose to do just landings. So the landing here, there's one landing there, and then we did do the top part right there, which I won't show. I mean, it looks like everything else. There's nothing specifically different. But I took all the carpet out so you can see the padding. This is what the old gross carpet was. We just left this carpet in when we had kids and obviously got dogs. It was the original carpet when we moved in, and we figured why not let them destroy old carpet, and then now that they're a little bit older, we're replacing things. So this transition right here was actually one large piece, and they cut it because there's another way to do this curve around the step, but this was an easier option and it looks more smooth. So it came as one piece, and then they did the transition here, and then they did the rest. And so we actually talked to the contractor about doing all wood. We weren't really wanting all wood, but we were wanting to know what the difference in price and all that kind of thing would be. Couple things. Number one, having all wood stairs, you're probably going to put a runner carpet anyway because it's slippery, and it's just not the best to have just bare naked wood, I don't think, on stairs. In terms of all of them, the landings I think are fine. But they were also saying that in terms of all this, see, we left these tack strips up because they're going to put new carpet in. A different contractor is going to put carpet in. But in order to do the vinyl plank flooring all the way, the amount of work that it would take to make it look good all the way up and really basically do all these stairs would probably have doubled the cost of the project, because the man hours that it takes to do that. So we chose not to do that. So we're just going to get different carpet. It's probably going to be right around $25 per step that we're going to pay, depending on which contractor we go with. Just a ballpark figure. But yeah, I think that's it in terms of things to think about. Now, every house is going to be different. Every project's going to be different, but I'm trying to give you an overview of things that if you want to do it yourself, you might want to think about in terms of your skill level and whether it's something that you can do, or if you just want to hire someone and then you're factoring that into costs. But so far, so good. I've read all kinds of mixed reviews about how these floors hold up. Most are positive, and this is again life-proof luxury vinyl plank flooring in 12 millimeter. It looks very good to me. It feels good. It's quiet. It's padded underneath. It comes with the padding attached to the boards, and so I think it brings the house a totally new look. And so far so good. So this is going to be a long-term review of this material. I'll keep updating as we go. I'll keep updating what kind of furniture we add. And you can see the doggos are so happy to have their couches back. I was actually going to do a video without the furniture, just this limited furniture that we have back in, but the dogs needed their little cozy spots back. So I'm going to go and take the weights away and all the tape off and everything. And I'm going to clean. You can see I have some Swiffer over there just to get some of the surface dust off. I'm not going to use that in terms of a deep cleaning. But yeah, like I said, I'll keep updating. I'll let you know how things go. And in this other room, which I noted in the prior video, this is going to be a home office area for both my wife and I. She does entertaining and all kinds of product shows and that kind of thing for her business. And I need the extra space too in terms of doing my work. So we're going to refurnish this. So I'll also put in some videos about what kind of furniture we got. I'll do updates with what it looks like and setting up that kind of a home office setup. And it'll be a huge thing. Hopefully it's helpful for people who are going through this in their house and wondering what it's going to look like before and after and how to go about that and how long it takes. So thanks for watching, and I will keep updating.